the teachers, the students that are realizing that a system built to divide, impoverish, and destroy us cannot stand if we do. All right? It's kind of basic mathematics.
If you hear me, could you feel me, could you free me? Wonder if I made a difference or made a difference. Bump that, we are the difference. We ain't got no code to decipher. Brother, I would never call you trife. You my brother, though they knife and fork got meals. Then cop the silly feels. Yep, it's slimy, kinda grimy, miscalculated the timing. But you can plagiarize something in disguise and think we have no eyes to see something real as we. This is seriously who we be. See, this here is true indeed, the real deal, thoroughbred, like collard greens and cornbread. Can't recite what's never said, purpose keeps us fed. Real man, this is grand A, hope fed. But still, you are my brother, above you there's no other. Blood or something other, more like what the blood covers. Man, no matter what they say, we good over this way. This is positivity in the making, helping brothers to break through. Without breaking, without breaking, without breaking, without breaking. What's going on? What's going on? What's going on, everybody?
What's up, everybody?
It's Thursday, so you know what that means.
Brother Empowerment Day.
So yeah, so if this is your first time actually watching Brother Empowerment, we will tell you this is not one of those bashing shows, but an opportunity for us to have engaging conversations and hoping that something that we discuss here will leave one feeling like they can take something away that will either help them or help those that they are connected to. Now, before we introduce our guest, bro, how was your week?
And my week has been pretty busy. Same kind of like last week. I've been doing a lot of planning. Really, it's been 90% really finance and 10% focused on kind of how I'm going to stay active. Just because gyms are now opening up. I don't have membership currently, but I'm thinking about getting mine back. I let it go, and meaning I canceled it not too long ago. I think probably about this time last year. So I've been thinking about that, but mostly financial, man. So really just planning, man. Really planning, plotting, and that's really it, man. It's really been a real chill week. I've been in the lab masterminding my next moves. How about you, bro?
It's been busy. It's been busy for several different reasons, but I think the same thing. I actually have been contemplating getting a gym membership anyway, just because I need to tone up this 40-year-old body. It's its own thing, so I want to definitely get to a place where I am more comfortable. I'm excited about some of the things that are in the making. I'm excited about our latest cohort.
Yes.
They are about to graduate, so I'm excited about that our latest cohort of Love Advocates are about to take place.
Cohort number 9.
Yeah, cohort number technically 10, but cohort number, I don't know what it is. We actually consolidated some of that information, but guess what? The graduates are now on the website.
Yes.
So you can see who have graduated from our program. You can go to the loveistheparable.com, click that education tab, hit Love Advocacy Training, and if you scroll to the bottom, you will now see all of the people who have either taken our introductory certification program or those who have taken the advanced, because we need to keep track of that.
Yeah. It's growing out here. The network is growing. Everything is growing.
Yeah, and we couldn't put the attendance for the implicit bias and the corporate training because those are in the hundreds. But at least we can say the ones who have taken the individual Love Advocacy training as well.
Yep.
So before we start acknowledging who's all viewing, so definitely, guys, if you're viewing,
throw us a comment.
Throw those comments. But we're going to turn it over to our guests. So who we going to have first? Moments with Mo. Why don't you introduce yourself first?
All right. Hey, everybody. I am CEO of Moments with Mo. I'm a motivational thought leader, meaning I motivate you to think. outside of your perspective. And I'm also a traveling stylist. I am a published author as well. And I'm excited to be here. So I'm just ready to get it. Let's go.
We ready too. Ready.
Well, Sheree, what you gonna do? What you gonna do? You gotta come after that. Gotta unmute first.
Okay. My name is Sharee McCall. I'm an attorney here in Raleigh, North Carolina. I practice in Vance County and Warren County as well. I don't have too many accolades, but really that's what I'm focused on, my firm, McCall Law PLLC. You can reach me on McCall Law PLLC, my group page, legal_issue. That is, kind of personal and business, but you can see me there. And that is pretty much the only platforms that I have. My passion is reentry. I do want to start a 501c3 soon. Kind of being a one-stop shop for those getting out of prison. That is really my passion. And that's pretty much it. I'm looking forward to this. I actually did go through the curriculum for Love is a Parable, and it was definitely inspiring. It was, it made me look into myself, and I don't want to get, too much into that. It was a part, and that's how we connected with this organization.
Yes, that's what's up.
Yeah. Sheree was one of our original board members, guys.
Yeah.
She helped us do a lot of groundwork in the very beginning. And then a lot of people don't know, like Sheree did a post. Y'all may remember, y'all might be like, why does she look so familiar? Sheree did a post where the guard that was in the courtroom mistaked her for a defendant instead of the attorney. And he said, I'm sorry, you have to move because this role is for attorneys. And she said, I am an attorney. And his face turned beet red. Thank you. And she's like, what happened? You like in Redneck, North Carolina. And it went viral.
I had to make sure I was looking in trouble for that because I did not expect that. I really didn't. It was really a rant that just took off. And honestly, I don't want to say viral, but it did help my firm. I opened up, my practice more, and I made a lot of connections through that one post. So yeah,
37,000 in one night. I don't even know what it's at now.
Yeah,
but it was 37K in one night. And Sheree was like, Jay, I don't know what's going on, but guess what? She got famous, but no, she really did what she said she was going to do. I'm grateful for it. And we want people to understand. Sheree is part of our foundation. She will always be a part of us, and we're proud of the things that she's doing as our sister, our friend. And so when I spoke with Mo, I was like, Sheree gotta meet Mo.
Yeah.
So guys, let me tell you, met Mo because we look at the hashtag. Like one of the things that I do is if you got hashtags out there, find out who's using your hashtags and stuff like that. And Mo was using the hashtag and her stuff was like dope. And I was like, I need to meet you. And me and Mo talked for like an hour and some change. Her phone kept going out. She was like, I'm gonna call you on this phone. And like, I gotta have you on the show. And that's how Mo is here. So Mo, I'm happy.
Me too. I'm excited.
I'm really excited.
So you're gonna say who we got viewing?
Yes, I am. So we have Stevie G. What's up, Stevie, bro? Oh, special shout out to Stevie. Today's his birthday.
Happy birthday!
Yeah.
Happy birthday! Make the birthday, make some noise.
Can't say nothing bad about the Pisces. My mom is one, so you know what I mean. Gotta keep. You got all love, man. So we have kids on. What's up, Kenya?
The Kenya.
Yep, was listening to your show earlier.
Great show.
Yep, definitely dope. Deshaun is on. What's up, bro? What's
hey, brother.
Man? We have Joyce Gamble's on. Hey, Joyce.
Hey.
Uncle Marcus is here. What's up, Uncle, man?
What's up, Uncle Marcus?
Let's see who else we got. We got Ken Branson is on. What's up, Ken, man?
Mr. Ken Branson.
Yeah, we got Rasheed is on. Hey, Rasheed.
I like that.
Yeah. Ricky Phillips is on, or third as we like to call him. What's up, bro?
What's going on?
Let's see who else we got. Al, is this Makia? I don't know. I don't want to butcher this.
That's my cousin.
How's it pronounced? Let's see. We got levels of pro. That's probably sis. We're gonna say
that's probably leader.
Yeah, we got Chanel's on. What's up, Chanel? We have Lenora is on. What's up, Lenora? Aquarius is here. What's up, Aquarius?
Oh my God. Kimberly.
Kim is on. What's up, Kim? Then we have Tara's on. What's up, sis? And then Ahmed is on too. And we also have Sean from YouTube Land.
Yeah. Woo.
Yeah. Everybody's tapping in. We good.
That was a lot. Okay. Is it just me or
no? I think we lost Sheree for my connection problem.
Okay.
Well, at least she's smiling. Look at her.
Yeah. Well, look, we ain't gonna embarrass her like that. Once she come on, we'll bring her back. You already got a comment and I missed it because I was trying to there because that was happening fast. Anyway, I want to say it was Ken talked about, well, it was somebody, yeah. He already said it, motivational thought leader. And that's one of the things I was telling you on the call, like, I love that. And you definitely use that. Don't try to add anything to it because it sums up what you do. So, guys, you definitely need to check out some of her videos and some of the things that she has going on because there's some dope things there. Deshaun said, cheaper to build your own, bro. I've been building mine for the past years. Home gym equipment is going to be cheaper because people are going back to the gym.
Yeah, no, that's true. That's true. The prices were way up here, but they're coming down, especially probably going to be this summer because I know pretty much every gym that I knew that was closed is back open. So
yeah.
Okay. Not sure what's going on just yet, so we'll give her a moment. Go ahead and start it. Yeah, he said Sheree was frozen for a moment. Oh, she said you pronounced it correctly.
Okay, cool.
So we're going to get into some statistics, Mo.
Okay.
You ready?
Yeah.
Well, let me get my girl off. There we go. So the very first thing that we like to talk about is that researchers have found that 1 in 6 men have experienced sexual abuse or assault, whether in childhood or as adults. Top 3 causes of men's death is heart disease, cancer, or accidental deaths. Rape of men, 1 in 71 men have been raped or suffered an attempt in their lifetime. In that same study, 4.8 men in a survey had made to penetrate someone else, usually an intimate partner or an acquaintance. Men die by suicide 3.53 times more often than women. Men top 5 fears: body image, money, height, other men, and being inexperienced.
Wow.
1 in 3 women and 1 in 4 men have experienced some form of physical violence by an intimate partner. Teen boys are more likely than girls to drop out of school and represent more than 75% of children referred to special education. Any thoughts on that?
That was heavy.
Right. What I will say about the special ed, I know that this ADHD craze, I'm not going to say it's not a real, diagnosis, but it seems like as soon as a child acts out in class or, you don't know what's going on in their personal life. So instead of grooming, they dope them up with this med that now they have to continuously take it because it's mind altering. So that is something that I do believe that is a very valid statistic. And where does it come from? What's currently going on? Do you all remember back in, school that people had ADHD? Do y'all remember them taking all this medication?
No, we were just told I was bad.
Yeah, it was prevalent.
Right.
It was around who took, Adderall and stuff like that, but it wasn't like it is now, like you said. Like it's definitely way more prevalent now than it was, in my opinion.
And I don't even necessarily think that because a kid don't sit down and won't pay attention that they need medication. I think they're bored. I think that is one of those things that, it's hard for me, and I'm an old adult, to sit down and just listen for an hour, 2, 3, 4, and 5. But I had one of my clients did a research paper about ADHD medication, and she had found a connection with ADHD medication and kids that actually went back to the schools and shot the schools up and killed people and all of that. Remember that was going on?
Right.
So she made a correlation between the two, where the kids that actually went back and went to the schools and shot up the teachers and all of that, they actually, it was a correlation that they all took ADHD medicine.
Wow. Well, we definitely have some mental health advocates, therapists, specialists on. So guys, if you know any of these statistics, definitely chime in and let us know your thoughts on that. We got Reese on.
What's up, Reese?
She said, good evening, everybody.
Good evening.
She said,
actually, I said a whole adult, like a whole one. But I know it's my accent. They think I'm from New York or Jersey, but I'm from Maryland.
oh, we know.
I didn't know.
I thought you didn't know.
I didn't know.
She from her.
Cordell didn't.
Take that one on the chin, because I definitely, you know, there's only a couple people that from Maryland that I'm actually around like that. Well, not anymore since COVID, but, you know.
They're Merlin. They're Merlin.
Yeah, once I heard that, yeah, okay, I got it.
But COVID.
You be like Tuesday, Wednesday. You be like Wednesday, Tuesday, Sunday.
Yeah, Tuesday. Look, Tuesday.
Merlin.
Okay, let's talk about it. First one, quarantine impacts on family. How do you convert spiritual, physical, and mental goals for all members of the family while staying safe?
Oh, wow. I think that in this capacity, I think that it would be important to allow the child to be creative in regards to the children. Like, what is the thing that they like to do? And allow them to be creative versus keeping them in the infrastructure of being home and being on a laptop in regards to school, but because everybody's homeschooling. But I had talked to one of my friends and we were talking about different activities because kids get bored. That's the issue. They're bored and they can't connect with their friends. So it's like finding what it is that they love to do and still going outside as well. Because I think that in our minds, they probed us with so much fear where at one point it was like we couldn't even go outside. And I mean, it's not good for anybody to not get exposure to sunlight. I mean, it's not good for anybody. So it's one of those things that I think that allowing your children to be expressive in what it is, like asking them questions like, what is it that you would want to do? You know, what you want to be when you grow up, tapping into those things, what types of crafts they want to do, you know, allowing them to have free range to be creative in the aspects of, you know, tapping into something that they haven't been tapping into. On the other side of it, I think the physicality of it is going for a walk and enjoying the fresh air to whatever capacity that you can. And so, you know, understanding the dynamics of the COVID, where if there's nobody walking down the street outside of you, you don't need a mask on. So you can have some fresh air, because when you understand that the motion and the ranges of when somebody's passing you based upon us breathing, the droplets and all of that, there is the 6 foot range. But then also, if there's nobody in your space, then you can actually take your mask off and breathe in fresh air. I think that a lot of it had went to an extremity that, you know, it probed so much fear in us. And so it was one of those things that nobody wanted to do anything. But then as you started to look and research and understand, as a motivational thought leader, think for yourself of knowing what I can and cannot do. Because a lot of times I think the media wants us to be afraid. And so, and knowing that having the mask on actually lowers our immune system, which will allow us to get the COVID more so, because our system, we will be more susceptible because of the lack of oxygen that we're receiving. So us having on masks all day long actually lowers our immune system. So that's something that I would say. And in regards to the spiritual point, that's something personal, whatever it is that keeps you connected spiritually. So, you know, some people pray, some people watch videos, some people do worship, whatever it is. I know for me, it was important that I just stayed in covenant relationship with God, period, across the board, and whatever that meant. And so knowing that we weren't going to be able to go outside and go to church and all of those things. So whatever avenues that I felt would facilitate my spirit, those were the things that I did. Yeah.
That's a whole lot. Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
I
think you made very good points. With each aspect, I think taking time, taking time with the spirituality, taking time. This gives you a lot of opportunity because, you're always on hustle bustle. What time? I got to be here and there. So now you have time to say, like she said, what do I like to do? Do I want to get fat? Do I want to lose weight?
I
in all seriousness,
sis. I wanted to be snakes.
Right. But in all seriousness, even with the mental health, I had a friend, she lives in New York. So that's when the lockdown really started. And she's like, I'm going crazy. I can't do this work. And I'm like, come on now, tighten up. But as once it started moving and things started getting more locked down, I could see, because we were having court online. We were, I couldn't meet clients. So it definitely slowed the money down. But then you thought about, like, do I have to go out and get paper, toilet paper? It was just so many different things coming at you. So I think being able to take time and make sure, like, is this real or is this, like she said, creating a hysteria, and that drove up prices. It's so many little pieces of that hysteria. Like, who needs all that toilet paper? Let's just be real. So
yeah,
like y'all got so many bucks. Y'all got those many bucks. Like, baby, what y'all doing?
Right. The extreme couponers is like, yeah, you thought it was a game. I had a garage full of toilet paper.
and you know what's funny?
It's just too much. Yo, but check this out. Reese said she loved the long vowels from you.
You know what?
Look, and Ken said, my kids choose to have fights on Instagram for street credit. How much creativity can they?
Well,
it's one of the things that
credit. Go ahead, go get it.
He said Adderall actually changed his life though for the better.
Changed his life. Well, I'm not gonna laugh,
everybody
but
differently.
Right.
Yeah, she here now. The show can start.
Hey, Sheree.
Chanel agreed with you guys when talking about the fear. She said fear is the most effective control tactic.
Definitely powerful.
And then Ricky said, just as we needed to find ways to connect with other people, our kids have to find ways to connect to people outside of the home as well. Isolation caused huge mental, physical, and spiritual damage.
Yep.
Yes, Ricky.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
What the whole toilet paper thing about
people being greedy.
And
something that don't cost too much and they can get
right.
Lord. Apparently a respiratory disease make
you know what?
Chanel, apparently.
Listen.
At this point, honestly,
that's funny.
I don't know what that was, but that's what it was. You said what now?
I was saying that I didn't buy into the fear of it. Like, I was careful and I was cautious, and I mean I traveled. I did, like, when when at one point there weren't ever any restrictions, because remember I was traveling between Texas and Maryland because I'm a traveling hairstylist. So I would be in Texas one week and Maryland one week. And so when the COVID hit and they was shutting everything down, I was stuck in Maryland. But eventually I started traveling and I went everywhere. I was cautious, but I wasn't going to be encamped by fear and not live. Because if I did get the COVID and die, at least I didn't get the COVID and I was home. And I'm just being honest. If I could be truthful, because I just choose not to live in fear. But I do believe that it was it could be mentally debilitating in every facet of our lives. But it's also something that I think that this was one of those moments when we say things and then now you living up to it, because you say, if I had more time, I would. but then you had more time and you still didn't. So those things that we would say that if we had more time, we would do. When God gave us more time, we didn't do them. So that really lets us know where we were. Because a lot of times I think we try to escape life by going to work and going outside and doing all this. But I think that it was necessary for us to have a shutdown so we could really see where we are. Because mental health didn't just show up. It just showed up more prevalently because people didn't have an outlet.
I will actually say that one of the things that we do have to realize is that anytime something new is released into our ecosystem, we don't know, and truth be told, no one knows how it affects each person. But we do know, because to be similar to this, we do know that several people that are connected to the Love is a Parable family have either been affected by it or have lost individuals to COVID. So we definitely are not saying that it wasn't a real thing, not a real thing.
Not at all. Not at all. I know
I know.
It was real. I know that it was real.
No, I get it. I was going to highlight that we actually have Lenora and her husband, who's connected to us, actually had COVID, and they actually were featured. Her husband was actually featured in the different news sources and all of that because he is a miracle because he had asthma.
Okay.
So, and I would say watching her go through it alone because of the restrictions, and I couldn't get her. That was the first time, and my family couldn't get to her. We couldn't get to Harold. That was the first time it hit us differently because, you know, things are always different when it's people that you know. And so I was also thinking, like, this couldn't have happened to greater people. I know we try to not label it, but when it's like, when it happened to not only good people that connected to, it just sends a different message. And I know for us, we were already playing it safe because we wasn't sure how it worked. But I do think that there are several different things that work for different people. And also we do have to take into account pre-existing issues that we didn't know about existed, pre-existing issues we do know that existed. Also where you are geographically plays a huge role.
Wow. Yeah.
In that because if you're in places where it was more of condensed population, it was more prevalent.
Right.
When you were scattered out, like, you know, like Sheree, for instance, she could probably go for a good walk in Benson, whereas you can't do the same thing in downtown Atlanta or downtown Charlotte.
It makes sense.
So all those things play a huge factor. And I think that what we try to do as individuals is process ways to reduce fear, meaning we try to normalize it as much as possible. And in your case, it was like, I'm not going to stop my life because if I stop my life, that is worse than losing my life.
Yeah.
And everybody had different ways of coping with it. And I think for me, I wanted to retreat anyway. So I used it for that opportunity to retreat, to connect with family, to connect with people that we care about. And that ended up being the best thing that happened for me individually, but all Love is a Parable. Last year was our best year.
Wow.
It's because people were home, but we already knew what we were doing. I came from a virtual environment because I did all of that for the longest. So I was in my comfort zone where other people struggled. I didn't have that struggle personally, and we didn't have it with Love is a Parable. And we made sure we created a incubator and a network to check on those individuals who may have challenges with either isolation or was truly extrovert. So we made sure we reached out, connected, and that probably, I think, helped us more than anything.
What bro's saying is very true. I mean, I know that for myself, I mean, I live alone and pets, no kids, no nothing like that. So for me, the quarantine, different kind of feeling because I'm used to, especially when it's warm, running around, being around people. Quarantine, especially when the pandemic first hit and that whole hysteria was really, really strong. You know, people didn't want to be around anybody. You know, it's like, no, if I don't know you like that, or I'm not cool so close to you, or you don't live in my house, like, no, I can't be around you. I mean, of course there are exceptions, but you know, it was definitely very strong. The fear was definitely strong at first. Now it's shifted a little bit because one, people are tired of quarantining like that, and then also we know more about COVID, just period. And of course, there's vaccines and stuff now, so it's different now. But I know that for me, physically, it really confused me at first. I didn't know what I was gonna do. Gym shut down. You know, being around people was like, so I still was around my family and stuff like that. Luckily, Uncle Marcus, shout out to him for putting together some exercise equipment in one of his spare bedrooms in his house. So I was at Jim Johnson. I've been there since quarantine started. So shout out to Uncle for that. But that's how I kept physically. That's how I kept myself together. And as far as mentally, much like Bro said, the quarantine gave me time to really just retreat and with myself, and also find out who I'm truly connected to. And so much like Brother Empowerment and also basically Loves a Parable, I've done better from a spiritual and a mental and a physical standpoint since quarantine. I got back to me, and I got back to what matters.
Ken said he agreed with you. He said that was the raw truth when you were talking, Monika, before.
Yep.
You got a couple of guys from Tamara said it definitely helped her.
Hey, Tamara.
Hey, how you doing, Tamara? And then Reese also said the only thing that was bad about the quarantine when it first happened was the cream was closed and tissue. but my home is my peace, so I was good.
Yeah.
She never lied about that. Like, oh, yes,
she never lied.
No, but she's serious too. She's serious about them donuts.
It was the first thing she said. She was for real.
Right. And then no tissue.
Right.
So let's get to the next one. How do parents keep their sons out of the street? Before you answer, Sheree, make sure you connect with Ken because he's doing a big thing he's partnering with individuals who help with the 3,500 inmates that are being released.
Wow.
Okay, nice.
That's dope.
He's doing some things with it. The video is on mine, and we shared it in a group and stuff, but make sure you connect with him. That's because that's your passion too, dealing with the disenfranchised. So that's why he was saying, oh, okay. And I meant to make that connection before and forgot to say it earlier.
Okay, and we'll link up.
Who want to take that one?
I don't have children. Let me just put the disclaimer on that. So I try not to tell people about parenting, but what I do know, as she said earlier, is keep them engaged in something, because exposure is really the bedrock of that. What are they listening to? Who are they around? In the streets, like somebody put street cred, that's important. It's a different breed of young men out here today. They don't have a code. They don't have any cares about, just basic things, human life, themselves, women. So I believe that in order to keep them out the streets, you have to make sure that home is a good place, so they don't feel the need to be there. They don't need to find comfort in other people, and I know some people's situation at home, they can't do anything about it. It's just what it is. But that's a good question, especially for those people who don't have children. So, we know we can prepare for. But yeah, that's my take on it. It's just my 2 cents. It's not much, but yeah, that's how, I believe that's what should take place.
Yeah, I don't, well, I don't have sons, but I have daughters. But I say this though, saying that we don't have kids, in my opinion, is no longer an excuse, because there's a kid that we all influence. You'll be surprised what kid is looking up to you guys. I know, like, for me, I didn't realize how much my kids looked up to Cordell until they started to say it. And if he did one thing, my kids would be like, Cordell, why you So it's there. Kids are paying attention. And I do challenge us to bring back the village concept, because we talk about what about your village? What about your village? I think we should be the village. Like, I don't have a son, but I look out and I make sure I check on Ricky's son, because Ricky do have a son. And he called me out on it because I said, I'll check on you every day. And the next time I saw him, he said, you didn't check on me like you said you would. And I had to tell him, I do. I call your dad and I check, and his dad had to validate that, yeah, Mr. J checks on you. And I think that we need to bring back that village feel. Don't let your business. It is your business. If somebody's baby is out there and you could be connected to them and you see something going on. So it's like old school. If they didn't feel like they can talk to mom and dad, at least let them feel like they can talk to you and do just how it was old school. Still tell mom and dad what's going on. Still have the relationship, but bring back that village. And I don't believe you should take the kids out of the street, because I'm now with Monika, because that's inciting a fear that shouldn't be there. And that's also saying that they don't belong when they do belong. In the street with them, show them different things. There's a way for them to actively and healthily engage in that community. And I think that we need to start showing them versus trying to shelter them, and we don't give them an opportunity to really be in that environment. And when it happens in adulthood, they go through a big explorative phase that we could have prevented had we just introduced it to them with a village concept early on.
Yeah, thanks, for real.
Ricky say, Jude the dude is watching with me right now.
What's up, Jude?
Look, past the bedtime. Jude don't go by nobody's rules. Jude make his own rules.
Hey, Jude.
Ricky say, surround them with good brothers that can keep them, put value in the correct place.
Yeah.
She say, love them, try to treat them, and try to raise them right. Communication. Let home be a safe space. She also said, be a village and come get your nieces, please. Send them with donuts. The village aspect.
Yeah, I will say that while I don't have sons, I have quite a few nephews, just like Uncle Marcus does. I have quite a few nephews that I talk to, that I'm tapped in with. And one thing that I definitely always want to show them is that, you don't have to be boxed in as a Black man. You can be yourself and not be a stereotype. It's cool to be yourself, and you can be a positive person. You don't have to be what society says that you are. You can be yourself. You can be positive. You be positive, and you can influence others positive, and it doesn't affect you in any way, and that's the real cool.
Yeah. And I don't think that the village is lost. I think the village was buried. And I think that it was buried with so many other things, but the village is there. We all have a desire for the village because we talk about that so much.
Yeah.
And so I just think that we need to bring it back into the forefront. Start sharing what each other kids are doing. Truly congratulate them on what's going on, and be intentional about that. Like, my town is dope because I made sure that people that I'm connected to, almost 3,000 of them, are dope individuals.
Yep.
And I think that sometimes people own what they know, and they may not know another way, and you might be that light. You may be that light to cast out darkness in their life, and they've been waiting on that light to show them how to be a light. But I think there's a lot of assumptions being made about what it takes versus just being what it takes. Sean said, you have to take time to listen to them, even the small, dumb, and seemingly insignificant. Can't expect them to talk about big stuff out of nowhere if they don't feel comfortable.
Yeah, yep, I agree, for sure.
I agree.
Let's get
that for me, I'm from the streets. But it wasn't where I was raised in the streets. It was that I lived in a nice neighborhood, but I went to the bad neighborhood. And it was and it could be for various reasons, but I think that even if we did, I'm not saying that this is the case all the time, but you could give them love, comfort, support, and you could give them all the stuff. But if they want to know, they want to know. It's like one of those things of being curious, because you know when you turn the TV on, it's promoted so much that they want to see what's going on in the streets, because like the comment, you know, the street credit thing. So it depends on like their friends at school, and then what about the friends that they have that you don't know? So it's so many dynamics to it. I don't think that there's one solution that could fix such a large issue. I think that it comes to where, because I've seen where you can do all the right things and still get the wrong response, you know. And so I think that it comes down to the child, what they want. And I do think that exposure is one of those things that when you're exposing them to positive things, that it helps. But in my case, like, I lived in a nice neighborhood, but I went to the hood. And so, but on the other part of it, when I was in the streets, I watched so much that I learned people. And I think that it's important to know both sides, like you were saying, Jay, knowing both sides of it, because to be so educated and well-rounded in so many different areas, but then be ignorant to the streets, then it could put you in a whole nother situation. I remember when my brother, he's from North Carolina, and he was coming to Maryland to go to school, because I know what New Bern was like, and I knew what type of person he was. I said, when you get to Baltimore, call me, because it's different. And he didn't call me, and they robbed him. And so I said that to say, because like I'm sorry, they broke into his car, and some other things happened. But I said that to say where to teach different things, because I knew, versus not being knowledgeable of it can put you in a certain perspective too. So because it makes you vulnerable, because you don't understand what street code is and street credit is, and when somebody's approaching you in that magnitude, you know what I'm saying? So there's a lot of different things that can go with this one right here. Like, I don't think that there's one answer, because it depends on the person. It depends on the home. It depends on the child. It depends on the curiosity. I think that there's so many facets to this one right here.
I actually agree with you on that. But I think the part that we do miss, even as parents, is that it is my responsibility to be in your business. And when I say that, there's a way to do it without being evasive. Like, for instance, pre-COVID, I pop up at the school. They don't know when I'm going to pop up. I just pop up, I sit in there, be like, hey, this is what's happening, because I want to live life as if dad may be around the corner, so that you'll develop that. And if you have members on the other side of quote unquote the tracks, take your kids over there, let them play, let them expose, because something attracted you to that point, something attracted you to the other side. Imagine had your parents knew, oh, she going over there. They called you, because we all know Mo going over there, watch her. As soon as you come over there, you need somebody to be like, Mo, carry your tail back on the cross there.
Right.
I think that's why we need to bring that back. And that's what I'm talking about. Like, village, like coming up, missed the part in coming up, reaching back. I come up so I can reach back.
Yes, you talk.
I don't come up so I keep reaching higher. It's not about the climb, it's about the build. And I think we lost that part. You had a question. Are you from Baltimore?
No, I'm not. No. I'm from Annapolis.
Baltimore adjacent.
You know what, Jay? I liked you 2 seconds ago.
Oh,
we was good. I was
she
like,
said,
love is a parable. It's love for it's a parable for me. But now I'm like, I don't know.
Hold on one moment.
But it's, you know what? I gotta tell y'all this. I gotta tell y'all this. I love the concept of love, of having a village, and then we help. And I'm big on. I'm a community advocate. speaking in community events. The children love me. I am one of those people that children trust and talk to and all of that. And sometimes they think I'm their age. So I think that's what allows them to be comfortable. And so I'm really big on knowing like certain things so I could talk like they talk, because that allows them to be comfortable so they can be themselves. But I had a situation where I saw somebody doing something that they shouldn't. They were actually selling drugs. And then somebody was buying drugs and they were with their friends, and they actually ended up beating the man up and taking his money. And so I went and talked to his mother about it. Well, she told him that I said something, and later on I seen him and I had spoke at an event, and he was like, Monika, that was really nice what you said. He said, I appreciate what you said. He said, he said, I'm glad I ain't kill you. So I'm like, what? Like, real talk. This is a real conversation. And he said, I'm glad I ain't kill you. He was like, yeah, because you told my mother that da-da-da-da-da-da-da, and I would have killed you if we wasn't related.
Oh, wow.
So I am one of those people that if the young man got his pants hanging too low, that I'll say, you should pull your pants up. But there are times that I feel reluctant because they don't value, it's different in this time. They don't value life, where certain things you can't, it's so you when we used to be can be so freely in speaking and saying things in regards to correcting them. Now it's like you never really know what you may get, and so it's different. I still say things, but I'm kind of careful because it just depends. And so that really happened to me, and my mind was blown, like, oh my gosh, like somebody was thinking about killing me and I didn't know.
Yeah, that's
so it's real out here, because every child don't have the same mindset.
Yeah,
right. And
go ahead, Sheree.
I was just going to make a quick point about that, and we were talking about medication earlier, but now the opioid crisis that they want to call it now, everyone's popping pills, drinking syrup, all of this, and it's mind altering. Like you said, he may kirk out and kill you, and then you never know. So yeah, I definitely think it is a crisis. Nobody wants to do it. Yeah, and it's going on heroin. You got 25-year-old guys shooting up heroin, so it's a scary time. It definitely is.
It is. I think that it's important to be just, I guess I would say, be led by your spirit of knowing if you should or shouldn't, because there's times I want to, but I don't. And then there's times that I do because I feel like I should. And so it's unfortunate, because I do think that, sparking a conversation with a child, knowing that where they come from, because, you've been there yourself, that it can help them. But then at the same time, not even knowing what mental health and mental state they're in when you do say something to them. So it's like kind of learning how to approach them. And it can't be like, boy, you want to pull your pants up? Now it's like, it could be different, where I think it probably would go back to the approach. Maybe it would be different, where it's like, hey, young man, how are you today? And easing in the conversation, or, it just could be different. And so I just do think that the village concept, it should be something that should be implemented, but we still need to be careful because it's real.
Yeah.
I guess for me, that we also got to think about this, because this is why I laugh when there have been people that felt that love is a parable is just about the sweet and fluffy. They don't realize that we are ones who are having those tough conversations, talking to those boys in the street, not afraid, or in a message that I am willing to lose my life to save you.
Amen.
And so a lot of them don't have people that believe in them. And so you'll be surprised, just brother empowerment alone, hundreds of men of all ages have never received love like this. And it motivates us to continue to do that. But I do agree with delivery. I think that we do need to be intentional in esteeming them. Like when you see somebody. When I see a fella out, no matter how old he is, no matter how young he is, if he has something on, I say, hey, brother, those shoes dope. Hey, brother, I like that shirt. Because we need to start esteeming them early on because they are a part of our village. Because if I don't say nothing, they be a endangerment for somebody else.
Yeah.
And I think that you return back to that being it. And I tell them, you ain't ever got to wonder. You ain't never got to question. I'm going to be like, I'm going to tell. And I tell them that I'm going to tell. And I don't care because I'm going to tell it. But the truth of the matter is, I don't care. I'm going to tell it. But get to that point where we show people that we value them more than anybody has ever valued them before. Yeah. A lot of people don't get that.
Yeah.
They don't understand that. It's women who are well in their 30s and 40s that you still have to pay kindness with your body.
That say it again? It's
women in their 30s and 40s who still believe that you have to repay kindness with your body.
Right.
That simple respect, simple love, a hug and embrace. These are things that you deserve, period, by being human. There are fellas who don't know how to process these very things. And so they don't know what to do with just pure organic love. The thing will never change if, now going back to your same point, if we put the mask on our heart, how can it breathe? It needs proper ventilation as well. And we got to go back to and show people and saying, I don't want you to change. The one thing I love about Sheree is she's so cute. She don't fake for nobody. I'm for real. She'll go into the courtroom tatted up with a grill on if she feel like it. Or she'll come
it up.
Oh, Lord.
Sheree, you a tatted up lawyer. You ain't tell us you was from the street, Sheree.
No, I swear. I mean, I am unconventional. I will say that. So,
yeah.
You ain't seen the grill yet.
Was jacking on you, to make sure. Yes,
grill got the
just bottoms.
Like the whole...
Just the bottoms.
And she can get gutter with you, or she can get professional with you. But it's based off of what you want. Yeah, it's off of what she wants and what she
you gotta be easy to adapt. You have to be able to do that.
Be all things to all people.
Yeah, all encompassing.
Let's see. Rick said the being curious is key. If you shelter them too much, that's a recipe for disaster, in his opinion.
I can agree with that.
Rick said it's also the parents as well. We refer to a village these days. You can't say nothing to the people churn. That's a lie. If you in my jurisdiction or my vicinity, I'm gonna say something to your kids. I done been public and be like, get on over to your mama. Man,
I was thinking that earlier. Definitely with the village concept, people don't even want you to hold their children anymore, and it's before the whole COVID thing. I don't want you to babysit them because you might let them eat a French fry. So like a lot of stuff like that, I definitely agree. You can't say too much to people's children. That concept is what we didn't say is lost, is buried, right? So yeah.
Yes.
Well, I still say something. I be in public places, ma'am. Your son is on this aisle. Go to your mama. I do. See? Because the thing is, I'm gonna say it loud. I don't care. Be like her. She went that way. Go get him. I be telling. I tell him I'm gonna tell. I'm gonna tell your mama if you don't get back to her. And then when I meet him, I say, I told your kid on aisle 4 I was gonna tell on them. They put them chips in that cake.
That's what you gonna say.
Yeah, no, I do. Y'all think
I told them I was gonna tell.
I feel like they get more drawn to the streets when they are lacking attention from their own parents.
Like that.
I can agree to that. I can agree to that because I do believe that that's part of what happened to me. In a capacity, because you be looking, you just looking for somewhere and somebody to connect with. And so if I live in the suburbs and I walk outside, ain't nobody out there, and they want to ride bike. I might don't want to ride bike. I want to smoke the blunt. I'm just saying. Like, you just don't know. I mean, that's real. Like, I don't want the bike. I want the blunt. And so if I live in the suburbs, they ride bike. I don't want to ride bike. Like, where the blunts at? In the streets?
Hey, I understand. I understand. Hey, I understand.
I'm gonna get in trouble.
I don't even.
But
no,
it's
I mean,
real.
no.
Like, we can't negate from the fact that's a real thing.
Mm-hmm.
Oh no! I mean, I definitely understand that, and I think that I would take it a step further. Is that I don't think it's the attention. I also would say I feel like it's the lack of expression.
Mm-hmm.
When people don't know how to express themselves or been taught how to express themselves, they find other mediums and other channels to do that.
Yeah.
So it wasn't about you smoking a blunt. It was about what the blunt did for you that you wasn't getting naturally. So you found another way to get that release. It's not about.
But some of it was it go for me. It was curiosity because I'm like I didn't even know what it felt like before I smoked it. I just wanted to see. Like I want to know. I was one of those kids like that's hot, Monika. And I was like, is it? And they like, yeah. And then when they turn the corner, I'm like, well, let me see if it's hot. Because I want to know for myself.
Yeah.
Because you can tell me all day something, but I want to know for myself. Because I know y'all lie, because y'all told me it was a Santa Claus. And how Santa Claus come down the chimney? We ain't got no chimney.
Oh, baby.
For y'all
who do believe in Santa Claus, we sorry, y'all.
I was going to say.
As a
she
kid,
done
you told a kid that it was a Santa Claus, and then you found out like you never know how you look at it, how a kid could look at it logically because you lied to them. So then now I'm supposed to believe everything you said.
Why you done crush somebody's dreams? If y'all believe in Santa Claus, it's there. She don't know what she talking about. She ain't got no kids.
Now I was told Santa Claus is Satan. So I never believed that.
I never Santa Claus. After a while, I'm like, ain't no way Santa Claus real. We don't have no chimney, and I know he can't go around in one day. That don't make sense. I was like in the second grade.
I was going to my grandma's house, and she was like, "Your mama buys those gifts. Let's not get it messed up. Ain't no Santa Claus."
Hey.
Look,
so, let's get that whole thing was destroyed for me a long time ago.
Having children with a real man and having positive men around set the example for my boys. I also share my experiences and let them know that life is not what they want. Say something to mine, but really people out here not wanting you to say nothing to their children. But I let something happen. It's why y'all didn't do something. Do nothing. Not Santa Claus. Who is Santa Claus? Well, I guess I don't think that. I don't care what you want as a parent because I'm a youth advocate as well. And if I see that child in danger, I'm gonna advocate for that child. I think that we get things twisted in a lot of areas. Like I don't need permission to save a life.
Mm-hmm.
Amen.
I can deal with your attitude later as you got your child in your arms. And I think that we're asking for permission to be human. If my kid is running out in the street, I don't care who grab him. Mm-hmm. Pick him, get him, and say, get your tail out of the street. I may not want you to touch my kid, but you say my kid life, so what I'm going to say, don't touch my kid? Mm-hmm. Nah, it don't matter. The kid needs to live. And I think we need to put the focus back on the village. Sometimes we don't know we need until it happens.
True.
But look, positive brother shout out because look, y'all done talked the whole hour. So this is your opportunity to shout out men that you're connected to that are doing positive things. Who you got, Mo?
Let me see. I could shout out Kevin Jones. I could shout out Wayne Smith. Let me see. Pastor Span, I could shout him out. You came at, I'm trying to think and I can't think fast enough, but that's all I can think of off the top of my head right now.
Hey, that's good. Hey, that's good enough. You one person is good enough. Straight up.
I could say Troy Stansbury. I could say Darius Stanton. Those are men in the community. I mean, in Maryland, they're really doing some really, really prominent things. Every year they have these big events. Matter of fact, I think that I should connect you guys. And so I think that would be really good.
Yeah,
okay.
Most definitely.
Thank you. Sheree, who you got?
I'm shouting out to my grandfather, James Smith, my father, Roderick Arnold, my boyfriend, Curtis Atkins, whoop, whoop. And honestly, I'm just gonna plug my mentor. His name is Dennis Gaddy, and he has this organization called Community Success Initiative. It's much like what I was talking about earlier. He's actually working on a ban the box and also help with the effort for the new expungement bill. It's been in the works and get a lot of grant funding, and they make a lot of connections. They're located on Tillery Place. And definitely he is very influential. I have been in their network since before law school, so early 2000s. So he's a good person. Like I say, has a lot of connections, and he's not just talking about, it's not commercialized. He's really meeting people at the gate as soon as they come out of prison, like, okay, because recidivism is high. So they want to, make sure you have somewhere to live. You have some job training. You have some outlet, spiritual. It's not a Christian organization, but they do have that aspect to be geared toward those people, because, you never know what phone call or what meeting or, will keep somebody out of prison. So, but yeah, I want to shout out Cordell, shout out Jay. Thank you for having me here. And y'all are doing a good thing. I'm really, really, really proud.
Yes, it was amazing. I love everything about it.
Thank you.
Love it.
Let's see. First and foremost, I got to shout out my brother Jay, because it's going to be 3 years in November doing this thing. And so he is literally part of my family. So, you know what I mean? Like, I definitely got to shout him out because I love him dearly. And I mean, this is what I envisioned myself doing, but I didn't know it years ago. I always wanted to be a part of the community, but I didn't know what to do, didn't know where to start. And he just came in and was like, hey, I need you to be a part of this. I feel like you should be. I feel like it too. So definitely got to shout my brother out.
Get on this train.
And that basically, you're right. You need to be here. I feel like it. So, but no, shout out to Open Market. Shout out to Keon. Shout out to Kerwin, Ian, Ahmed, Ishad, Ricky, aka the Beard. Shout out to all those brothers, because man, we building. We got some stuff cooking. It's ridiculous. For real. Shout out to all those, because I love all y'all support, all the chats, everything. So let's see. Last but not least, last two things. Gotta shout out all the brothers that are out here just doing stuff in the community. They don't need a camera. They don't need anybody saying you're doing a good thing. Not looking for recognition. They're just looking for change, because that's what they want to see. Right. So that's what they're doing. They just step in. They're not looking for recognition. They don't have time for that. They're too busy doing what needs to be done. So I want to shout those brothers out. And I also want to shout out brothers that are having tough conversations with people for whatever reason, whether it be to release them, to mend a relationship, or for just their own personal peace of mind. Those things are the difference between being up at night and really sleeping because you're at peace. So I really want to shout those brothers out, because that is positive, and that takes real strength. So that's it.
Yeah, I would definitely only be echoing, man. Thank you for being more than my right hand man, my brother, my kid's uncle. Mm-hmm. Went from perfect strangers to best friends, man, and I just appreciate you so much. I'm glad that we doing this together. And I literally will call out the same names that you'll be calling out, man, because I have never met so many amazing guys at one time who are truly, Sheree, when I'm talking about truly, like, you remember it was hard for us to find people? This new group of men is like bananas crazy. I can't wait.
I wouldn't expect anything less.
Oh, they are amazing. So I think every last one of them, my biological brothers, my younger brothers, my older brothers, thank you guys. I had a chance to talk to Mel today, and I'm excited about all the things he's got going on. But most importantly, guys, I thank you guys endlessly for your constant support.
Yeah.
I thank you for your text messages, your phone calls. The list goes on and on. We literally could not do this without you guys. But most importantly, if you know someone, or if it's yourself that feels like you don't have anybody in this world that is really, truly there for you, just know that you have met 4 people who truly do. So guys, tune in next week.
Yes.
We got even some more special guests. Oh, Sheree, thank you guys so much. Y'all guys stay on.
Thank you.
We're going to see y'all next week.
No matter what they say, we good over this way. This is positivity in the making. Open rhymes to break through.